The Revised Common Lectionary is a 3-year series of Bible readings linked to the seasons of the church and used in worship by many mainline Christian denominations. This coming Sunday is the first Sunday in the season of Advent, and Kim and I are starting a weekly series of short video devotions based on the lectionary readings for the coming Sunday. The videos will be short, under 5 minutes. They will be published each week on a Wednesday and a Friday, and one of us will pick an Old Testament reading and one a New Testament reading for that week. For today, I'm starting with the Gospel reading for this Sunday, which comes from Mark chapter 13, verse 24 through to 37. Welcome. I was amazed to hear this week that it's already been nearly 16 years since South Africans were first introduced to scheduled power failures or load shedding. Over the years, we've adjusted our lives, we've learned to cope with this unwelcome phenomenon. And one of the key innovations has been the development of cell phone apps that keep you informed about the load shedding schedules. These apps have changed our lives, haven't they? When you wake up in the morning now, no longer do you just look at the weather forecast for the day, we also have a look at the power forecast for the day. When will load shedding be scheduled? This morning when our family woke up, there was no electricity, but thankfully we could still boil our kettle on our stove, which is gas powered. That's a relief, because facing the day without that first cup of coffee really wouldn't be wise, would it? The problem with gas stoves, though, is that you never really know when the gas is going to run out. We don't have piped gas, and the gas is supplied by a canister inside the stove, and when that is empty, then that's it. Then you're done, and you never really know when it's going to run out. There's no timetable like there is for electricity. To paraphrase the New Testament, the end of the gas can sneak up on you like a thief in the night, can't it? Now, this passage from Mark's Gospel begins the season of Advent. And Advent, you may well know, literally means coming or arrival, as we look to the coming or arrival of Jesus. This first Sunday's Gospel reading focuses, however, not on the birth of Jesus, as we might expect, the first coming of Christ, but looks ahead to the return of Jesus, the second coming of Christ. And we see in this passage how Jesus says that there will be some signs that he is due to come back, but there is no timetable, at least not one that we will be privy to, like there is for load shedding. No one knows when that hour or day may come, says Jesus, which of course should make us a bit skeptical of anyone who claims to have a precise timetable for the return of Christ. So, if we are to be Advent people, celebrating the first coming of Jesus and living in anticipation of his return, how then are we to live? Well, Jesus says in this passage that we are to be on watch, to be alert for his coming. Over the last 2,000 years, there have been many examples of sincere believers who thought that the return of Jesus was imminent, and they sold all their possessions and they gathered together to wait for him to come. Well, they were wrong, every single one of them. And I don't think Jesus is calling for us to stop living, to suspend all normal activities. But what he does say to us in this passage is that we are to live watchfully and to live in such a way that we have no regrets when he does come. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, said once, "If you live each day as if it were your last, someday you'll be right." He goes on, he says, "Every morning I looked in the mirror and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I do today?" That's a question to focus the mind, isn't it? Well, as Advent people looking to the coming of Jesus, what if we were to try living each day open to the possibility that Jesus might just come back today? Open to that possibility, not to inspire fear in us, not to provoke rash decisions, but instead so that we would learn to weigh our words and actions very carefully. And then at the end of the day, be able to have an animated conversation with Jesus when he asks us, "How was your day today?" Amen.